All right, folks, welcome to episode 7 of CRT Secrets, Candle 3. Now, as usual, put aside whatever you're doing because this is more important. Grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea or milk, whatever you like, and let's get into Candle 3. Now, an opening statement I want to make is that it is my pleasure to see that the entire trading community is copy-pasting and plagiarizing blatantly my CRT, while obviously trying to change the name and add some other three-letter, right? So you're seeing garbage, absolute half-cooked garbage, like fractal model, GXT, PSP. There's a whole bunch of other nonsense that's rising, and all it is CRT in disguise. Right? Before I posted CRT to the internet, they didn't know it existed. And the reason this matters, you might just say, you know what, Doc, just get to the point. This is the point. And this matters because if you learn the information from someone who is not the author, the source, which is me, then you risk receiving half-cooked, incomplete information. And that's you cheating yourself of learning properly. Right? So if that doesn't matter to you, then I can't help you. But for the 1%, the genuine truth seekers, this is a very important point to make and clarify, is always learn from the source. And a message to the influencers, because I know that they all watch these videos with you. Right? You're not alone. Every single trading influencer watches these to take notes and copy them into their own stuff. My stuff is getting more views anyway. Right? So all the influencer groups you make together to boost each other's engagement, it's not working. You're failing. Everyone sees right through it. No matter how many times you change the name, CRT will always be CRT. All right. Now, trading CRT with no key level is a beginner mistake. Right? So the ideal CRT, candle 1, candle 2, and then candle number 3. Accumulation in here. Right before the key level, usually, they will stop with a thick, in a bullish scenario, a thick down close candle right before the key level. And then manipulation. And then candle 3 distribution. And this is the candle I want you all to focus on trading, which is candle number 3. Trading the pattern, quote unquote, pairing it always with a key level. Right? And I like to use examples of trades I took myself. So let's look at the dollar. This old low is the key level, right? Because what happened is they dump price lower, and you can see CRTs all the way down. And right before reaching the key level, they're going to give you a thick down close candle. That's candle number 1. And then manipulation is candle number 2. And this is the candle I want beginners to avoid. All right? Avoid candle 2 as a beginner as much as you can. Shift your entire focus on candle number 3. That's why lately you've been seeing me show you candle 3 trades, right? Candle 3 trades. Why? Because I want to get you used to it. Because most of you should be only trading candle 3 for a long, long time. And once you master candle 3, then perhaps in a private setting in the future, perhaps even in October on the 2nd, I will teach candle 2 in detail, right? But even knowing that, I want you to focus on mastering candle 3. Because once you master candle 3, then by default, you'll become good at candle 2. Right? It's candle 1, candle 2, and this is a trade, by the way, I hinted at this week. I drew this low, and then a CRT low, and a CRT 50%, and a CRT high. In dimmer colors, but it was there. If you look back on Twitter, it's right there. Right? And the way to trade candle 3 is the following. First of all, you're going to wait for candle 2 to close. And it's very important that you don't trade candle 2 while it hasn't closed yet. Let it close. Because what can happen, and you might have experienced it by now, is you're trading candle 2. It looks like this mid-candle, right? So it looks like a bearish candle, and then it simply keeps printing higher. So it was a retracement and close above, right? So the safest way, the most conservative, consistent way is wait for candle 2 to close and then trade candle number 3. You wait for the open, and then you look for them to pop up above a high or below a low, above a high, if it's bearish, turtle soup, and then down it goes, and they close. And vice versa if it's bullish, right? So candle number 1, just invert this. Candle 1, accumulation. Candle 2, manipulation. And then candle number 3 is going to give you the explosion. And candle 3 is very fast. For those who are going to complain about me not teaching candle 2, candle 2 is it's a very slow, choppy, lethargic candle, right? So even me sometimes, even though I don't want to say stuff I'm not supposed to, but if I want to, I can trade every single high and low of every single daily and weekly candle to the minute, right? But even me, sometimes I prefer trading candle 3 because it's simply faster, right? And candle 3 usually has, and this is something the plagiarizers don't even know to teach, candle number 3 is going to have some sort of OTE, right? So candle 1, and for your sake, I hope you're taking notes, proper notes. Right? Candle 1, candle 2, and candle 3. Candle 1 will have a model number 1. Candle 3 is going to be an OTE. That's the general rule, right? Because after candle 3 will usually either be the continuation of the true market structure shift inside this candle, which is what happens more often than not, or it's going to be the break, the true break of the market structure shift and the continuation higher. Right? Whether this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or 159, or whatever. 2610. And now that we mentioned those numbers, again, I advise you to stay away from those who claim to have invented new models of CRT. Anything anyone knows about CRT is what I've taught them. Nothing else. Right? The trade you saw me take was in euro. Right? So you had candle 1, and you had candle 2, and you had candle 3. Now, more importantly to me was the following: was the weekly open on Sunday and the weekly close on Friday. I've said it once, not too many times, but I'm going to say it again right now. Every single trade you take, and this one has to be noted down, especially with 2 underlines under it, every single candle you trade ever is going to be either a weekly candle, a daily candle, a monthly candle, or at most a 4-hour candle. If you want to be a hyper scalper, then a 1-hour candle is also fine. Right? But you have to strip yourself from thinking that you're trading models, or you're trading a even CRT, or you're trading swing trading or scalping or whatever. I want you to remove all those terms from your head and think in candles. So you are a candle trader. All right, so before you open a trade, which candle am I trading? In this case, I'm trading within the weekly candle. Right, so the weekly framework, I'm trading the daily CRT. So all my interest was trading this daily CRT within the framework of the weekly candle. Right? All I wanted in this trade was to catch from here to here, the wick of candle 3 to the low of candle 1, to complete the bearish CRT, right? And obviously this was a very eventful week with all the ICT parrots up here. And there's nothing wrong with ICT himself, right? Just his students. He's created a lot of dumb money on purpose, right? So he knows what he's doing. He has helped raise the number and amount of retail dumb money traders, and it's kind of evil, if you ask me, right? But it is what it is. That's the game. You have that right there. This market structure shift, quote unquote, fooled a lot of people. Close above the high that broke the low. So that's a very convincing bullish structure, BOS, whatever, all that garbage. But that doesn't matter, because that's exactly where I sold and where a lot of you sold. And I saw one of my students also call this out live, which is the peak of knowledge transfer, right? Is before you knew about my existence, you saw things differently, right? So I changed the way you think and look at things. Right? That was my sell up there. Why? Because that was the kiss of death turtle soup. Right, so you have candle 1, candle 2, and candle 3. And if all this seems like a lot of information, then rewatch it once and twice and 3 times if you need to. You're not all going to get it at the same time, and that's fine. So if you feel a bit slower, if you feel like you're learning slower than others, then that's fine. Take your time. There is no hurry. There is no one behind you with a gun to your head saying move faster, right? Sit down, relax, take your time. Because growth in trading is very much like a bamboo tree, right? There's a video I saw the other day of bamboo tree growth. So it takes like 5 years, or takes years. Don't quote me on this. It takes years to grow underground, and then within weeks it shoots up real fast. Right, and that's what your growth and your results are going to look like. Right? So don't be hasty. Good things come to those who wait, and the best things come after a long wait. This is a profession. It's a career path. It's like choosing to be a doctor or a lawyer or engineer, right? Or a YouTuber or a chart artist, right? It is a career path. You have to learn to treat it like so, right? So if you put professional quality time into this, you'll get quality results out. And if you put a half-ass job into this, then you will definitely, most certainly, get half-ass results, right? Excuse me. Candle 1, candle 2, and I didn't trade candle 2 because I was not at the charts at the time. However, they always give you a kiss of death. They always give you a kiss of death turtle soup before reaching the CRT target. Right, so looking at price in this manner, in this fashion, and for those who are still watching, you've earned this. Looking at price in this manner would have been your edge, right? So accumulation, turtle soup, and you would be certain that the next day would be a day of expansion. And keeping this in mind, keeping in mind that there is a higher time frame CRT pending target below, will have saved you against blindly pattern trading, which is what you saw many big ICT influencers do, right? Because they simply have no clue how these markets book. They don't know. They've not worked behind the scenes. They don't know anyone behind the scenes. All they know is breaker, FVG, order block, and that's just ridiculous, right? Manipulation, stopping everyone out, and then distribution with the OTE / kiss of death turtle soup. Kiss of death is not always the OTE, but sometimes it is the OTE. Right, so you drag a fib from the high to the low, right there, and it did not hit the 50%. And that's exactly why I dragged this fib, because expecting the 50% to always hit in an OTE is a requirement. However, if they go up above this high, and this is where critical thinking comes into play, right? If they almost reach the 50%, and they give you a turtle soup of a key level, right? Then do you insist on them reaching the 50%? Or do you adapt and short and sell the way I did? And the answer is, the market doesn't move because of the OTE. It moves because of the logic behind the OTE, which is suckering people into a buy up here before dragging them down below the low. Right? It's not about reaching the zone, and they almost did, right? It's about, have they successfully lured in enough liquidity to fuel the move? That's one thing to note. The other thing to note is, usually if the trend is strong, if the down move is going to be a powerful down move, then it won't reach the 50%. And this is something I've spoken about before, right? It'll reach the other fib levels, which are below, before the 50%. Right? So that was the logic of this OTE, morphic of death, really. Turtle soup. Right? Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. And if this episode has been too long for you, then I'm sorry that I'm sorry. I'm very sorry that social media has cooked your brain so much that you can't even focus on for like half an hour or whatever this is so far. I don't know. You can't even focus for that much to change your life. Right? So I'm truly sorry for you. Again, if you put professional quality time in, you will get quality results. You put shit in, you'll get shit out. All right? Now, what if I don't catch candle 3? What if price opens candle 1 and then candle 2 and then dumps really fast in candle 2? Then you note there is another type of CRT, which you may not know about, which is a 2-candle CRT, right? Perhaps they do give you a 3-candle model, and the 3rd candle never gives you the entry you wanted. In that case, what you do is simply apply the protocol, which is win, journal, repeat, lose, journal, avoid, and miss, journal, catch next time. That's my universal journaling law, which encompasses every single trade you'll ever take. And that marks the end of this video. A brief summary, to summarize the whole thing, is candle 1, accumulation, candle 2, key level. Once candle 2 closes, then you will look to trade the open of candle 3. So you're gonna trade below the open. This is your trading zone. Targeting, of course, 50%, and then the high of candle 1. And then, of course, evaluating if there are any further targets up there, right? That's the summary of trading candle 3. Right, there are more nuances, obviously, and more details and more information, but I'll leave that for October the 2nd. And this is enough. It's long enough, this video. I don't want to overwhelm you with information. I hope you found it insightful. I wish you good luck, good trading, and see you on October the 2nd in Telegram and in episode 8 next month.